and played a little bit of a bigger lineup last night as well. So it's a bumpy start in terms of that area in particular. But we've got 81 more games to go here, Amy. There's no reason to press the panic button just yet on any of these.
I hear you. Thanks for popping in here on your day off, no less. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll preview the Wolves game out in LA tomorrow, and then they're home Sunday for their home opener, and then also MLS. We'll talk MLS with you too. So enjoy.
Which we will be at, by the way. We will be at the Timberwolves home opener on Sunday.
Awesome. So, okay. Well, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Pierre. All right, let's bring this to you here. We started off this hour with this really incredible update that we wanted to show you. So Sophia Fortis, as we know, was one of the victims who was shot, and so here's this moment. Incredible. You hear the doctors and the nurses and others cheering for her and sending her off as she left HCMC. And again, in case you missed it, today is Sophia's 13th birthday. Her medical team there, it's some of the team members who we've heard from throughout. I'm just going to kind of listen in for just a second here.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, happy birthday. I'm very proud. I'm so glad you're going. I'm so proud of you. Keep trying, okay? Keep praying for you. We sing you? We sing happy birthday?
Lots of hugs, lots of reaction there as Sophia leaves HCMC after months now, and incredible to look at her and to hear her after the press conferences. I think the last one was probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, when the lead surgeon kind of came out and said, we just need to set expectations here that this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sophia.
So again, she was 12 when it happened. Oh, goodness. When it happened, 13th birthday today, but Sophia was, just to remind you, she was shot in the head. She remained in critical condition for weeks and weeks at HCMC, placed in a medically induced coma. Her eyes dilated, meaning the pressure in her head was just very, very high. We learned at that time from the lead surgeon that the bullet's path injured some really critical vessels in her brain. As doctors had to repair that, stop the bleeding, and they really feared the worst. And they said, if something like this, what we just saw happen, it would be a miracle. They remained hopeful. Her family, we heard from her father several times, who remained steadfast that she was going to come through this and that she was going to be okay. Obviously, a long road ahead for her, for that young woman, but just an incredible day for Sophia Fortis and her family and that community. And we wish her the very best, and we're so glad that we could bring you that today. That was just really incredible to be able to share that update. Let's talk a little bit about our weather, which has been the topic of conversation, this week, as we've hit some kind of whoop and then back again, and now you look outside and it's just glorious sunshine.
So nice outside.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful blue sky, great little fluff ball, cotton ball clouds floating on by. It's nice.
Love it.
This morning was chilly. We got down to 34 point something this morning, 34.5 plus, so 35 is our morning low.
That's a dumb question. Have we hit the freeze mark yet?
Everywhere but the downtowns and the airport, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
So yeah, our first freeze officially, probably occurring tonight. Ring of Burbs got frozen this morning. A lot of them did. Maple Grove, Rogers, Cottage Grove, Edina, Prior Lake, Stillwater. Most folks got down to 32. 33, 32, 31, 29. Rogers got down to 29 this morning, or they've done it in previous days over the past couple of weeks. But this morning, a lot of folks got down because those temperatures were at face height. So as we go into tonight, this is your statewide map, by the way. We'll circulate through a handful of these. But you can see most everyone's getting down to the 20s again. We'll go for 31 overnight tonight in the Twin Cities. Today, though, sunshine. Beautiful day today. 51 degrees is below average. Average high for this time of year is 54, but nice and bright. 20 is tonight for most everyone in greater Minnesota, 31 in the metro, and then a nice rebound. Southern flow pumps us back up, but 58 degrees is what we're aiming for Friday. And the weekend, we got a little impulse that could bring a little spritz or a sprinkle Saturday morning, but then we'll say some veiled cloud cover, and we'll keep it in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the weekend ahead. But yeah, today, that peaceful sunshine feels good. The blue sky, the quiet conditions, so much calmer today. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, stay nice and light. You know, the gusts to 40 or 45 on Tuesday, or the 20-plusers yesterday are just non-existent. And there's that official metro forecast. Our first freeze looms. An average first freeze, by the way, Amy, is August. No. Is October 13th.
Okay.
Last year, we waited until November 1st. To get there. November 1st was our first freeze.
I vaguely remember
our first
that,
freeze. Last year, so it was very late, one of our latest. Year before that was October 27th. And then going back to 2020, whatever years that was, 2022, we did it, though, perfectly average. It was October 14th. And back on 2020, pandemic year, which kind of got lost for a lot of people, that fall, we did it on October 4th. We had our first freeze on October 4th, but that was in October, too, when a lot of people were working from home. We also had a lot of snow in October that year. We had a lot of weird snow going on that year. In general, so yeah, as we rotate through, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, it's not uncommon. It's a little late, but we rebound. We got a nice couple of days ahead, but not a bad little go of weather for us. Just hey, and if we were to have an extended forecast, if we were to have that, I mentioned this in the 11 o'clock show just a while ago. Looking ahead into Halloween, average high by next week is the middle of the week is 51 on Wednesday. Average high on Halloween is 49 to 50. I like to say 50 because it wraps up the month of October nicely.
Okay.
And we look to be just a tick above average. We look to be staying in the low 50s into Halloween. Nothing big's pinging at the moment, which is great news. So at the moment, if I had to give you a ballpark Halloween forecast, I'd say it would be a lot like either yesterday or today. This rough low 50s zone, you know, relatively peaceful.
We can see the costumes.
You know, it's way out there, 10 days away, so, you know, there's a lot of wiggle room on rain chances. But at the moment, it just looks okay. You know, temperature-wise.
We'll take it.
Looks okay in temperature-wise.
We will take that and run with it, but we'll keep checking back. So, thanks, Keith. All right, we'll see you soon. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to head to, I think we're going to Mille Lacs County, actually, where they're doing some testing of well water. We want to let folks know in that community where you can go, how you can do it. So stay with us. All Day Live continues right after this. And welcome back to All Day Live. 12:22 is our time on this Thursday. It is it's a purple Thursday around here, but also gold, because some of us are running out of purple. Don't own a lot of purple, so this is going to have to do for today. But we'll talk a little bit more about the big Vikings game tonight out in Los Angeles. Armand Hicks is out there. Maybe you saw him this morning doing some live shots, and yeah, it's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine. And those of you who are Timberwolves fans are just going to ride that high from last night. Incredible come from behind win as well. So I'm going to run through a couple of regional headlines here as we get ready to take you out to Mille Lacs County for an event that's happening out there live. But we'll start in St. Cloud for a moment, where we want to tell you about a funeral for a St. Cloud police officer that's going to be held tomorrow in Otsego. This is for 44-year-old Ryan Ebert. Ryan was killed in an off-duty crash in Apple Valley. It was October 13th, and then he ended up dying from his injury several days later. The story in St. Cloud Live says that a funeral for Ebert will be tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at Christ Church in Otsego, and then a visitation will be held tonight from 5 to 8, and that will be at Gateway Church in Elk River. And then let's take you up to Duluth here before we head to central Minnesota. Duluth, head back to central Minnesota. Melissa put this one in our email today. The city of Duluth, this is year number 2 that they're doing it, annual snowplow naming contest. You know, we do it, the MnDOT does it, you know, but Duluth is also doing it second year. So submissions, you can start submitting today. You do have to be a Duluth resident, most creative name, and go on their website, and it says a chance to win a prize package that will once more make the winner the envy of the neighborhood. And they're going to accept submissions through October 29th. And let's see, they're narrowing it down November 3rd, and then November 7th they're going to pick. And then the 11th, they're going to let them know if they won or not. And then the newly named snowplow will debut at the Christmas City of the North Parade. The resident with the winning name submission will get the opportunity to take a photo with the plow and the crew, to ride in the snowplow during the parade, and will receive unlimited bragging rights. It's wonderful. So you're number 2 for Duluth, and you can start submitting your creative ideas today. All right, let's take you to Mille Lacs County. The county is hosting a free well water testing clinic, and we wanted to learn a little bit more about this. We know that the Department of Health has been doing testing constantly, right? But they did some testing recently that gave some results that were really concerning. And so what they're trying to do is find out if there are nitrate levels here that exceed safety standards. Joining us now is Bruce Olson, Department of Health. And Bruce, are you still with Department of Health, or?
No, I'm not. I retired from the Minnesota Department of Health a number of years ago. I'm volunteering here. I'm a retired geologist. So we're at a clinic in Mille Lacs County, and people bring in water samples, and we screen them for a couple contaminants just to see what their drinking water quality is like.
Yeah, so tell us the contaminants. Are you looking specifically for certain contaminants, and what are they, and tell us about them?
Yeah, we're screening for 2 today. One is called nitrate nitrogen, and it can come from fertilizers from farms, or for lawns. It can come from septic tanks and animal runoff from feedlots and that sort of thing. And so if you have that in your well water and at a certain level, then there's an indication that your well water is being impacted by land use of some kind. The other one we're looking at is chloride, and the major source of chloride is road salt. And so if you have chloride above a certain level, then that's also another indication that your well water is being impacted by land use.
Okay. Can I ask a dumb question? Is lead something that you would also find, or is that going to be more in like a soil?
Well, we don't really look for lead, and lead is mostly a plumbing issue, going back to the days when there was lead solder used in pipes, particularly putting together copper pipes. So we don't look at that.
Okay, but nitrate and nitrate, nitrogen, and chloride from road salt. So at what point would you get a sample? Let me back up. When people bring you a sample, does it need to be something that they've just collected that day, or can it, is there a certain expiration on the freshness of the sample they bring you?
Oh no, we encourage people to go to their kitchen tap and collect a water sample. This would be if they were on their own private well, not from like a community water supply system, and bring that in the same day. And we can analyze it here. And generally, it only takes about 10 minutes to do both of those tests. And then we have the opportunity to sit down with them and talk to them about their well and the results of their well water quality and what to do in the future to better protect their water supply.
Is to fix it, to make it healthier, is it expensive, or what are some of the solutions for folks?
Well, there's a couple of options. The good news is around the state, most people, we don't see nitrate in the well water and we don't see chloride, which is really good news. And what you want to do then is to make sure it stays that way. So periodic testing of the well water is what we recommend. There's another contaminant statewide. That's arsenic, and generally it's reverse. If you have nitrate, you won't have arsenic, and then there's a reverse. So there's large areas of Minnesota where we encourage people to have their well water tested for arsenic. If they don't have nitrate.
Okay. And are there certain populations that you want to talk about who are most at risk of, serious, effects of these chemicals?
Yeah, the two main groups are small children, particularly if they have children under a year age. Nitrate can have a really impact on them. And the other one are people that, especially older people like myself, or even people that have compromised health, that contamination of their well water can impact them. And the best way to find that out is to talk with your physician, who will have better information on what a water result in your well water could actually mean to your own personal health.
Okay. You'll be there, or the folks testing will be there until 6 o'clock tonight, and you're in Onamia, is that right?
Right. We're at the Mille Lacs Band of the Ojibwe's Community Center, and it's if you're driving north on Highway 169, it's just to the east of the Mille Lacs Casino.
Okay, so if you have your own well, this is a great opportunity. I know the Department of Health does that. It's not the only one and the only time that you do this, but it's a regular thing. Have you volunteered for quite some time on these?
Oh, yeah, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years, and actually this is a group that we have local sponsors, but it's the Minnesota Well Owners Organization, and then there's the Minnesota Groundwater Association, which I'm a member of. So we help people put on these clinics, and of course we discuss what we're doing with the Minnesota Department of Health once a month. We talk with those folks, so it's coordinated pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, okay, thank you for your time, Bruce, and for jumping on a Zoom with us from Onamia today, and hopefully folks who are in that area, they can bring a water sample until 6 o'clock from their wells, and hopefully get some answers there, and drink healthier water. So thanks, we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye. All right, let's see. Right, okay, let's do that. Let's take a quick break and come back. But more to come. Oh, yep, we want to check in with Lauren. We're going to go to St. Paul when we come back. Lauren is there with the Downtown Street team. We'll find out what they do, and I understand they wear, I think, really bright T-shirts, so maybe you've seen them out and about. And we'll do that after we come back. All Day Live continues after this moment of serenity now. And welcome back. We're keeping an eye on a possible media availability for Nico Medved, the head coach of your Golden Gopher men's basketball team. That's happening at about 12:45 or so. So we'll bring you into that if we get a chance. But in the meantime, we want to take you to St. Paul. And if you're there for a variety of reasons, maybe it's a wild game or a concert, maybe farmers market, you may have noticed that there is a team of people in really bright neon shirts. Well, it's the St. Paul Street team, and essentially they're ambassadors for St. Paul's Downtown Improvement District, which is a team that's dedicated to keep that downtown area safe and welcoming. Our Lauren Andrago is there, and Lauren, so first of all, when you moved back here, you live in St. Paul. You are a St. Paul resident. I know you love it, yes. But we also, not to lean into the sirens, because that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, except to say that sometimes there are concerns about safety and crime, as there are in a lot of big cities. So tell us a little bit about what this group does.
Yeah, Amy, that's a really good point, especially right after COVID. I think St. Paul is in a similar situation to a lot of downtowns, struggling to get people back into the city, and that with rising crime levels made it a different landscape around here. So the Downtown St. Paul Alliance has started all sorts of initiatives to keep St. Paul looking friendly and keep people feeling welcome to come back. And part of that was starting the St. Paul Street team. Now, they've been out for 4 years, but they've recently expanded this year to covering the entire downtown and lower town area. I'm right now at the 7th Place Mall, right by the Palace Theater and the Park Square Theater, Landmark Center behind me. We're very close to the XL Center. And you're going to see a lot of guys in neon if you come around here. Dylan Matsky is one of them, also a St. Paul resident. You joined the St. Paul Street team this spring.
That's true.
You've been a resident down here for a couple of years.
Yep.
And I just wanted to know more about you guys, because I also live downtown, and I started getting flyers about, hey, do you ever need an escort when it's dark outside? Do you know there's a team of people who can help you? All you got to do is call them from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week. That's you.
Yeah,
You're one of those
us.
guys.
Yeah, so we're the ambassador program.
The ambassador program.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what your day looks like.
Sure, yeah. So we start our day bright and early, 7 a.m., and we immediately get out into the field trying to look for, garbage, graffiti, anything that is kind of a blemish to the city. And we're really trying to clean it up, get out there, help people that are in need. We have a lot of homeless people in the city, and we, have a lot of resources that we can provide with them. So we're constantly out and about exploring the whole city, trying to find things to fix and clean up.
I asked you a little earlier, Dylan, about what made you want to join this team, and you just really love the mission of helping people.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I consider myself a pretty empathetic person, and I hate seeing people that are down in the dumps or, having a hard time. So for me to be able to get out into my own community that I live in, to kind of push people in the right direction, to help clean up the streets that are around us and we all live and walk in every day, it really just drew me into the job and kind of pushed me into this position.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways that people can reach you. They can just come up on the street if they want to walk to their car or something. But there's all sorts of signage around here. QR codes you're going to see on these neon garbage cans and boxes, and people can use those too to call you for any sort of reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you contact us through our QR codes or the phone numbers that we provide, you will get a direct line to our dispatch, who works close-handedly with the police. So you could either call us for escorts if you need to find some place, metro questions, we actually do that as well. If you even find just a little bit of garbage on the street that you think could be picked up, you can contact us and we'll send someone over right away. Anything along those lines is really what we do.
Totally. I got some numbers from you guys. You cleaned up graffiti in over 1,000 different instances just last month.
Yeah.
That on top of garbage cleanup and escorts and some hospitality calls just to make sure people are okay. Yeah. I'm wondering what you're hearing from St. Paul residents when they come and ask you for an escort or etc. What are you hearing from them about, being in downtown and spending time in the downtown area?
Yeah, so obviously we've got a lot of residents here that already love St. Paul and being downtown here. but we've actually, at least me personally, have experienced a lot of appreciation, a lot of people coming up to us just to thank us for the job that we do. And it's been really nice and helped bring up my ego a little bit. But
yeah. No, but that's great to hear, because you're not just helping residents, but visitors, people who might only be in downtown St. Paul once or twice a year. I was also picking your brain about hidden gems in St. Paul, and one thing we were talking about was the St. Paul Skyway, which is a gem that not a lot of folks know about. Some people don't know it'll take you all the way from Lower Town to the XL Center in downtown St. Paul, kind of like a 25-minute walk, and you guys are patrolling that area as well. Yeah, we have dedicated ambassadors who are up in the Skyway at all times of the day. But yeah, I love the Skyways. It's super awesome. You can travel the whole city almost. I think it's about 5 miles worth of Skyway access. And there's so many restaurants, shops, and stuff like that connected into it. So you can always find whatever you need up there as well. It's very true. And a lot of restaurants opening back up now that we have so many more folks around for work. And that's, Amy, one other thing I've noticed just since being down here. I moved back here in 2021, which was like peak COVID, and it was a dead zone around here. But it's great to see people walking around just on their lunch break, getting lunch. Okay, Dylan, you're not only part of the ambassador team, you're also a downtown St. Paul resident. So I just want to ask you, what do you like about living down here? You are a fellow young person who likes to do fun things when you're not working. How does it feel to be living in Lower Town downtown? I love the city. It's super exciting. There's always something going on, whether it be here or in Minneapolis in our twin city. But it's just a great, exciting, kind of natural place to be. There's a lot of parks around that you can go sit in, a lot of water features, beautiful buildings and architecture, a lot of older buildings that I really love to go look at. You're a good ambassador for St. Paul. What was the new park that you like? Pedro Park. Pedro Park. It's over on Minnesota and 10th Street. Brand new park. Yes. Thank you so much for your time. Finally, just to reiterate, if someone sees you on the street, they can come up and ask you for an escort, ask you for directions, anything. Of course. Yeah, anything you need, any trash cleanup, escorts to places, directions, questions about the buses and the trains for the metro, anything you could really need. Even if we might not do it, we can definitely lead you into the right direction. Find the right person. Yeah. So you guys are working with the Downtown Alliance, with police, with social workers, for whoever needs, whoever's the appropriate person to respond to the call. Dylan, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, of course. So nice to meet you. Really appreciate what you're doing. You heard it there, Amy. The ambassador team is out and about. They have just expanded to the entire downtown St. Paul. So Wild season has just begun. A big theater season is starting here in downtown. I'm looking at Palace Theater. There's so many shows happening. The Notebook, the musical, is coming to the Ordway. And people are out here in downtown St. Paul. So I'm glad as a resident I got to meet a face of someone who's just out here to help with whatever you need if you're a resident or a visitor. Yeah, I don't know about you. I feel like I could have talked to Dylan all day long about St. Paul. Right? Isn't he great? Yeah, yes. I mean, and he came from Green Bay. Sorry, I didn't mean to out him like that, but Wisconsin resident here in St. Paul. But obviously a Vikings fan. I mean, clearly he's a Vikings fan. But that's really good to know, Lauren, because I'll be honest with you, I did not know that this team existed. And for people who maybe pop in and out of St. Paul for this or that, or a restaurant, or a concert or game, I mean, it's really, I wouldn't have approached them. I would have thought that they worked for the city and they whatever. But so that's really, really good to know that there's so much happening. And there are issues, there are things that are problems, but it's also good to get this perspective that there's a lot to see and enjoy too, and hopefully do it safely with these. Yeah, absolutely. Just look for the neon. The guys in neon or the neon garbage cans or the signs, they're everywhere. They'll point you in the right direction. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And perfect spot for this interview. I love that nook right there. It's just one of my favorite places in St. Paul. Oh, it's beautiful. So it's a beautiful spot down here. Yeah. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your fall day. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks, Dylan. Wow, what a great guy. What a great way to spend your day, helping other people in your community. All right, Ryan, did you want to take a break, or do you want to just roll through some headlines? Okay, let's keep rolling. Let's do it. Okay, a couple of things here. Let me get my place set here. So, out of the gate, do you want to start with some of that? Okay. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Thank you. Okay.
Let's do this here. Forgive me for 1 second. I'm getting there. I am getting there. A couple of things that we didn't get a chance to chat about off the top that we wanted to make sure we got in here today. And one of them is an update on, it's kind of an update. I'm still not 100% clear on what's new about this, and I actually was texting with someone, and I'll try to find that too, and I can weave that into this because she gave me a little bit more insight here. Let's see, here we go. Okay, so a bit of an update here. This was from KAL TV in Rochester who was reporting this, and it caught our eye because there's apparently a person of interest in the Jodi Huisentruit disappearance, remember 30 years ago. Now, Wisconsin, a county in Wisconsin, Wood County, the sheriff's office there has determined that this person of interest in that case they have deemed as responsible for the murder of a young mother in Wisconsin. And so it's a little tricky to follow here. But again, KAL in Rochester reporting that Wood County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office says that Christopher Revac is responsible for the death of Deidre Harm. She's a Wisconsin Rapids woman who disappeared. It was back in 2006, and then she was found dead. Now, Revac is no longer living. He actually was in jail in 2009 and took his own life. He was awaiting charges on a separate death case that was in Missouri. And then, so to tie it back now, Revac had previously been tied to the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit. He was called a person of interest in that case. She's the Mason City news anchor who disappeared 3 decades ago. The case has never been solved. And remember, a person of interest is different than a suspect. A person of interest is not the same. An interesting development here. So a Mason City investigator, if you remember, I remember reporting on this back in December, said that they had gone out to Wood County, to the sheriff's office, to talk about Christopher Revac, even though, again, Revac has long been dead. And that connection with Revac being a person of interest was actually ultimately dismissed by Mason City Police back in 2009. So a little bit of a roundabout way. I was communicating with Caroline Lowe this morning, and she, former WCCO investigative reporter who has been for many, many years now part of the Find Jodi team, and I was just asking her about kind of what was new here, and because she had said initially that this is not really, anything new in terms of Jodi's case, because Find Jodi has done several stories on this angle over the years. They had believed that Mason City Police were still looking at Revac along with several other possible persons of interest. So, anyways, just to give you a little bit more context here, I'm just reading this. The Wisconsin part is more that the authorities have more conclusively indicated that they believe that he's responsible for that Wisconsin Rapids case and have the evidence to prove it. So that's a little bit more of that context. But if you see that headline out there today, then you kind of know it's not anything sort of earth-shattering as it pertains to the Huisentruit case, but it is something that is out there today. Okay, let's talk about let's see. Do you want to do government shutdown really quick, Ryan? Yep, okay, let's do that. Okay, second longest shutdown in history is continuing. The Senate actually convened this morning. It was 9 a.m. our time, and I haven't had a chance to check in the last 47 minutes. However, we know that there will be a vote today. We don't know, though, if it's this same vote that has now failed 12 times. Today, the Senate is scheduled to vote on something a little bit different. This is that GOP-backed bill called the Shutdown Fairness Act that would pay essential federal workers, military members, and contractors. These are the folks who are continuing to work during the shutdown, not those who have been furloughed. So again, day 23, and let's see. I was reading, 12 failed attempts. Yesterday, senators did not vote until after Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley's, remember that marathon 22-hour speech? It ended at about 4 o'clock our time yesterday, and then the Senate voted and adjourned at about 6 o'clock our time yesterday. So that was the timeline. One thing I was reading about that, just to sorry, Ryan, if I'm running us really late here, but I thought it was interesting. I was reading there's a Politico article this morning that talked about how, and maybe you've heard this, that the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that helps feed more than 40 million people, is going to start to run out of funds November 1st. We've done a couple of stories on that. And the article was talking about how, is that the cliff here? Will that be the cliff for some of the Democrats? And I thought it was just an interesting perspective to see as we're waiting to see which side's going to sort of flinch first in this shutdown. So a lot of different stories out there. It's kind of speculating, but really nobody has any ideas on when, because we just haven't had any movement in weeks to meet that 60-vote threshold. Okay. Let's take a break. We'll do that and come back. And yeah, my goodness, we're going to round out the show already. It's already winding down this hour. Ryan and I will come back and we'll just run through some more headlines. We'll let you know what else we're following. There are some live events. We have an incredible update that we're going to share with you here after the break as well. One of the victims who was shot during the Annunciation church and school shooting, out of the hospital today. Sophia Fortis left the hospital, and we were there for that, and we want to bring you some of that really incredible video. All Day Live will continue right after this break. Ryan, 12:52 is our time. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Amy.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You're always doing great.
Well, you know, I try.
You do. You're positive, very positive person. I noticed you were eating trail mix earlier. Your big thing of trail mix, and then I have the same one, but in these little packets, because I didn't see that you could buy it in a big jumbo thing.
You can, saves you a little bit of money.
Well, that's huge for me. I love to save money, and then.
But I look ridiculous doing it because it is a massive size bag, and everyone who walks by my desk says, well, it's a big trail mix bag you got there, where yours is more appropriately sized.
I'll tell you, I'm still hungry after I finish this, though. Yeah. So there's that. Also, I don't eat the raisins, so you'll see a big pile of raisins over here every day. So yeah. Does Chris like raisins?
What's wrong with the raisins? Are they not?
What's she saying?
What's wrong with the raisins?
Oh, I just don't like raisins.
Oh, you don't like them?
You do? I think when younger, you're told, they're going to rot your teeth out. They're going to rot your teeth. Don't eat the raisins.
Oh, so, well, what doesn't nowadays,
exactly,
right? What doesn't?
Anyways, but we digress. We got a Vikings game tonight, my friend.
We sure do, Amy Hockert.
Yeah.
Thursday night battle here. If you don't have Prime Video, or even if you do, you can watch it on Fox 9 here. We'll have it for you.
Thank goodness. Not everybody's got that Prime.
Not everybody's got it, no.
Yep. So Fox 9's your place. And then we've got pregame coverage going on. And then I remember Jimmy telling us that right after the game, we're not messing around. Right after the game, post-game show right after the game, immediately following it. So. And I heard special guest. I don't know if it's still happening. Chad Greenway.
No way.
In the house.
Former Viking linebacker, great Chad Greenway.
That's right. That was the plan as of a couple days ago, so hopefully that's still happening.
Name. It's Thursday night. You got to get the big names. Yeah. Al Michaels on the call tonight. We like Al, right? We like Al.
You know what? I love Al, like in the evenings, like on a, he's Monday night, or you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like raining out and you're watching football. Like that's a beautiful Al Michaels moment. Yeah, for sure. So what are you thinking? How are you feeling about tonight? We got Carson Wentz at the helm.
We do. We have Carson Wentz at the... I don't know, Amy. This is a hard one. I don't know. The Chargers are coming off a rough loss. I think they're going to be kind of upset.
I know. You feel like, oh, well, maybe this is our opportunity. Usually that's not the way it goes. Usually teams are like, no, we can't win. We can't lose 3 in a row or whatever. So
the Chargers started the season off very well, and they have slipped since. So it's hard to get a take on which Chargers team will show up. So that's where I kind of am just not really sure. It has less to do with the Vikings. I think I know what we're going to get with the Vikings.
Do you?
I think.
Because I don't. Can you tell me what we're going to get? I feel like every week I'm like, who is this team?
Yeah. I think we'd like to see the defense get back on track, right? They've been kind of underperforming, I think. Yep. So if they can get back on track and the offense can do just enough, cut down on those mistakes, and then hopefully the bad Chargers show up. They don't run the ball particularly well, so.
The crappy Chargers.
Yeah.
Is Aaron Jones, did we get Aaron Jones back?
I believe he's back.
Okay.
Question mark?
I thought he was eligible or back. So we'll see how the pieces come together. It's just tricky. And even with Wentz, I feel like we're getting the feeling he's not at 100% and hasn't been probably for a while.
Yeah, he got roughed up in the last game.
Yeah. So will we see the young Max Brosmer, do you think?
We might. So we'll have to see. Watch Fox 9 tonight.
Okay, sounds good. And then really quickly, set us up for the World Series. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, World Series tomorrow night. Game 1 also on Fox 9 between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers from Toronto.
Okay.
So I know the Dodgers are kind of the favorite, but the series will actually begin in Toronto.
And you were just there to watch a game.
I was.
Within the year.
Great atmosphere.
Yeah,
that crowd is electric.
That's awesome.
And it's really the whole country is behind the Blue Jays.
Good for them. That's really cool. Yep. Alrighty, well, let's do it. Let's break and close out this hour. We'll be right back, though. The 1 o'clock hour of All Day Live continues with Ryan and Chris. Maybe she'll stick around too. Just keep directing. Yeah.
She'll have to.
We'll get her some raisins, and we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back to All Day Live. We are really glad that you are here, present, accounted for. It's 1 o'clock on a Thursday, and Ryan is here. Chris is manning the ship for us, womaning the ship for us. Sorry, Chris. And we're rolling. We're going to get through it here. We've got headlines. We've got some stuff we're watching, some developing news. One of the stories that kind of came together right before our broadcast here is probably the most, I think, the most incredible story of the day that I've seen thus far, and the video is just absolutely amazing. And we're just so glad that we can share that Sophia Fortis, remember she was the 12-year-old, one of the victims of the Annunciation Church shooting, who had been shot in the head and has been at HCMC since that morning, was released from the hospital just within the past couple of hours here. So I do just want to kind of back off and just let this play for a little while, and then we'll come back on the other side of it.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, happy birthday. I'm very proud. I'm so glad you're going. I'm so proud of you. Keep shining, okay? Keep praying for you. We sing to you? We sing happy birthday?
What's his hair? Did she speak out? I know, it's such a surprise.
You're welcome.
And there was the moment that Sophia Fortis was leaving HCMC after so many weeks of being in critical condition for the first several weeks, and then going into an inpatient rehabilitation program, and then now out. And you probably heard, obviously, it's her 13th birthday today, as well as those doctors and nurses, folks from HCMC, her family, Tom and Amy, her parents, are there. And you might remember that medical team and the lead surgeon saying that if we saw a moment like this, it would be an absolute miracle. And there were a lot of sobering moments along the way where he tried to reset expectations and let people know that if this happened, I mean, it would just be an absolute miracle. It was so unlikely. So to see her out there and then to hear her, you know, talking with people, and it's just an incredible moment to see. So just big congratulations to that community, and you know, big moment, milestone moment today, and a long road ahead, of course. But you can see surrounded by so much love, and a much bigger community as well that is pulling for Sophia and her family. The last remaining person now out of the hospital. A couple of other headlines, and we'll have much more on that coming up throughout our newscast, and there's some content on our website as well if you want to read a little bit more about that. A few other headlines that we wanted to share with you here. An Annunciation concert that we learned about is happening next week, and so we wanted to let you know that this is a special memorial and benefit concert to, of course, honor the victims and the families. So it's 1 week from tonight at the Cathedral of St. Paul. They're going to be hosting this, and it starts at 7:30 next Thursday night. The Cathedral Choir, St. Cecilia's Children's Choir will also perform. The Minnesota Orchestra will be there as well, and the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra will be there. So again, next Thursday, October 30th, 7:30 at the Cathedral of St. Paul to support those families. All right, let's check in with our Rob Olson and find out what he's working on today. Rob has something to do with the Green Line. We know that there was some testing that went on last week.
It's still going on.
Okay, I'll let you go. You take it away.
The train just left the station. If you'd have come to me 30 seconds ago, you would have seen a nice shot of that. But that's how live TV goes. Yeah, so down there, it's the shuttle wagon. I know you can see it down there in the distance.
You got it.
Pushing a Green Line train that's towards the Eden Prairie. That's towards the end of the line. I'm at the town center station in Eden Prairie right now. Earlier, I was in Hopkins, where they were showing this off as well. But that kind of testing, it's unpowered testing, meaning the trains aren't powered yet. I mean, obviously, there's power to the tug, essentially, is what that is. That is what they're using to test these lines very slowly. I was told this morning it's sometimes maybe as slow as a mile an hour that they run these trains down these tracks and walk by them, because, you know, this has got to be very precise in terms of the, you know, the track width measurement. I mean, even off by a centimeter or two is a problem. And so that's what they are really highlighting today, is that after much delayed, at times controversial light rail extension, the Southwest Light Rail, also known as the Green Line extension, that this testing phase is going. 14.5-mile line, 16 stations. It's 95% complete. There's still some work to be done up on the Minneapolis-St, where that Kenilworth tunnel, you know, that created a lot of delays and problems and cost overruns, sometimes massive cost overruns. They're still working there, but this track testing phase is really underway.
Yeah, it's a moment, you know, and when we saw it last week too, the first testing started about a week ago. This milestone that a lot of people, I think, especially kind of right after the COVID years, were thinking, is this ever going to happen? And my goodness, how much more are we paying for this, right? It just has ballooned in so many ways.
Yeah, it's been very costly, especially, you know, what the legislative auditor report had highlighted last year, I believe it was, covered that. Time runs together on these projects, but was all the change orders, you know, and a change order in a construction project is not unusual. As you're building, there are alterations that need to be made when, you know, as you're building, and but of course the kind of the outcry from some lawmakers was that some of these change orders, they didn't think Met Council was being transparent enough about. But we are now at a point where Met Council is very enthused and excited to show off what's going on now. So again, nearing completion, and then these tests have begun, and the tests will go through some 4,000 different tests of the tracks and the signals and the other systems that will run through next year. I asked him today, is there a chance he might get this testing done ahead of schedule and people can actually ride this before 2027? And they said, stay tuned. You know, they're not gonna, they didn't want to really go out on a limb and answer that question.
Especially after the last several years, Rob. I think they're probably like, we're just gonna take it day by day here. Did they say when potentially though they're hoping by 2027, like which month, or do we know?
They'll ask them that too. Can you be more specific? And they said, no, I mean, not at this point. I mean, there's still a lot in flux in terms of this testing procedure and process. But they said when it does get up and running, it'll be, you know, projected, I think they said 34,000 riders a day. And this project has cost just under $3 billion, the most expensive transit project in state history. But today, what they were really touting is that there's a little over $3 billion in demand coming from this. So, pardon me, I'm of course, getting a call right as I'm doing this. I just send that to voicemail.
No, you're good. And so this goes from Target Field to the Southwest Metro. So I haven't seen this. I mean, we obviously drive around Eden Prairie. That's where we're located. But should drivers, pedestrians, be watching for things now crossing in places where we maybe haven't seen them cross before, even though it's not the trains themselves?
Yes, and I mean, it is the trains themselves. They're just being pushed. They're pushed or pulled at this point. And so that was another big part of the message today, is not only their enthusiasm that, again, they say this is generating about $3 billion worth of development along the lines, both, housing and commercial, et cetera. But they also want this awareness campaign that they're really kicking off to be highlighted, that they want people to know that even though the trains aren't up and running for passengers yet, they are up and running for testing. And so you got to start being aware at these train crossings, because even though they're going slowly, they're still going. Yeah. And they are out there.
Okay. All right, Rob. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you a little bit later.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Bye. Let's take a quick break. We're going to check the weather before we do that, and then on the other side of the break, the latest in our series of mayoral candidate interviews. We're going to be talking with Kaohly Her, who's running for mayor of St. Paul, when we come back. Stay with us.
A beautiful day for the day today. Plenty of blue sky, plenty of sunshine. Started off on a chilled note, down in the 30s for most, 20s even for some. But we got plenty of sunshine as we warm it back up to a high either side of 50 for the day today. Still just a tick below average, but gorgeous. Not as windy, breezy as yesterday, not as gusty as what we were doing back on Tuesday. High today at 51, but with a gentle breeze out of the northwest. 5 to 10, maybe even just 5 miles per hour at times. Just a gorgeous afternoon. Average high for this time of year is 54. So we're doing just fine as we move on into the better part of our afternoon. Overnight tonight, yeah. Metro might actually hit its first freeze officially of the season. Now, our ring of burbs were frozen this morning. We had those outer and those second-tier burbs getting there. Even parts of the ring of the 494, 694 flirting at 32. Maple Grove, Edina got down to 32 degrees this morning. Lakeville, Cottage Grove, Stillwater, Rogers, 32 and 30 degrees. 29 in Rogers this morning. But the heart of the metro, downtowns, the airport did not get much colder than 34 degrees, so we're going to aim for 31, get that official freeze in the Twin Cities. October 13th is a typical first freeze, but we didn't do it until November 1st last year, so we can do later. And then we'll bounce back up, 58 degrees and sunshine with southern flow. We warm back up nicely into Friday, upper 50s to near 60 over the weekend. Now, we do have an impulse that'll bring in a few clouds on Friday night. We might actually see a shower around or just north of the Twin Cities Friday night into early Saturday morning. Then partly sunny and 59 on Saturday, low 60s, and patchy sunshine on Sunday as well. And then more legitimate shower chances, cool to soft to seasonable levels toward the middle of next week. Fox 9 All Day Live continues. We're back after the break.
And welcome back to All Day Live. This week we are spending some time with candidates running for mayor of St. Paul. On Monday we talked with Mike Hilborn. Tuesday it was Adam Dellinger. Yesterday it was Yan Chen. And today it's Kaohly Her. Mayor Melvin Carter's campaign has not yet responded. It's the same format as last week when we interviewed candidates in Minneapolis. 10 minutes live. And we sent the topics out ahead of time, and then I'll just be asking questions specific to each candidate. And we've also asked them not to criticize other candidates because there's no opportunity to respond. So we want to welcome State Representative Kaohly Her, who's been a state representative since 2019. Before we get going, though, can you please just say your name for everyone? Because we see it, and I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. Can you let us know how to pronounce your name, please?
So it's Kaohly. So it's kind of like Colleen, but E at the end. So Kaohly.
Thank you. Kaohly. Okay. Thank you. I want to make sure we get that correct from you. So state representative since 2019, and I'll keep time. Our producer Ryan is also keeping time and kind of let you know where you're at throughout the conversation. And I've just let everybody know about 30 seconds to a minute per answer gets us about the same number of questions for everybody. So we appreciate your time. And let's get it. Your time. We'll start right now. So when we talk about public safety and policing, what do you think should be the city's highest priorities?
I would say that the city always has to be looking at, what encompasses public safety, which is not just violent crime, but also the issues that are facing our cities, like the fentanyl crisis and homelessness, and in the ability for people to thrive and to live within our communities. And so I think it is really important for us to address the most critical need right now is addiction and the fentanyl crisis, and working with our partners in order to do that.
And yeah, if I could ask more specifically too, I think that is something that residents have said is a big issue for them as well. We know in talking with the chief, the fentanyl crisis is just something that the cities can't get their arms around right now. Specifically, do you have a plan to try to get some control around that?
And we have to address this issue with a great deal of compassion, right? Because I don't think that if anybody had a choice that they would choose to be, to have this particular issue. And so I have actually had some preliminary conversations with organizations that work in this area, and they've all said to me, most of them have said to me that they have capacity to take in more people for addiction treatment. And so instead of criminalizing people who are struggling, how do we make sure that we're working with law enforcement, with these nonprofit entities, with our state partners, the county, all of the partners who are stakeholders in this, and bringing us together to inventory the capacity to take people in and to be able to create that pipeline and that support for individuals who are struggling, who are needing to have services around this particular issue.
And how strong is the connection between drugs and the homelessness and people who are unhoused and an ability to kind of get some traction in their lives?
Yeah, I mean, there's a great deal of overlap, right? I think that, too, our ability to address the homelessness issue and the unsheltered population is tied to our ability to give people the resources that they need around addiction. But we need to do a better job of connecting people to wraparound services. When I talk to the leaders at Wilder, when I talk to, our county, when I talk about the resources that are available, we have to be able to connect people to those resources. And I know that our city has made some strides in this. But, when I ask our partners, have we ever taken an inventory of who can be in which space, what capacity that they have, what resources are missing, that individuals who are in these spaces are saying they've never been brought together to have an inventory so that they can all build on each other's work versus everyone trying to solve the problem in a silo. And so I'm really looking forward to, as the mayor of St. Paul, to work with these entities to solve a problem that really does overlay each other around addiction and homelessness.
Okay, 7 minutes, about 15 seconds. How satisfied are you with how St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry is running the police department?
Chief Axel Henry and I have a good relationship. I mean, I've worked with him as a state legislator as well. But, we all know, and I think even he would say this, right, is that we always can have better working relationships. We always can improve our services, and we can always improve how we interact and facilitate the work with each other. And so I look forward to working with him on being able to do that. I will say that, St. Paul Police has done a really great job in adjusting after the civil unrest and the murder of George Floyd, and that we can continue to improve community relations. And he's done a fantastic job in himself in addressing some of the unsheltered issues. And so we need to make sure that what is working, that we can scale that up and execute that citywide.
Let's turn into the economy now. St. Paul residents, as you know, are facing one of the largest property tax increases in recent memory. The city's poorest neighborhoods will likely be hit the hardest. What is your plan specifically to reduce the tax burden on residents?
We're going to have to actually look at this from multiple prongs, right? We have to increase our tax base, which means we have to work on developing more affordable and abundant housing in the city of St. Paul. We also have to actually increase our commercial and retail business here. Our city has seen record numbers of businesses closed. We have not had the best reputation often as someone who's easy to do business with, and so the ability for us to really streamline our processes around permitting and around licensing, in addition to how we do the nuts and bolts of our cities, we have to actually improve all of those processes in order to facilitate both housing development and commercial. The last thing is that we can't just look at taxes. We have to diversify the revenue source, and which is why I've proposed an urban wealth fund, which has been established and tried in cities in Europe and Asia all across, like Hamburg and Copenhagen, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Like, we have to be innovative in how to leverage our city's assets in order to bring in new revenue sources.
And along those lines, you have about 5 minutes left here. We talk about these major neighborhoods in St. Paul, some needing help, some needing resuscitation, right? We're talking about downtown, midtown, lower town, Frogtown. What are specifically your plans beyond kind of what you just laid out to jumpstart business and breathe life back into these neighborhoods?
I think that people are ready to invest in St. Paul, and so the downtown. I've had a number of conversations with developers, small and large. I've had conversations with our small businesses, with arts and cultures, people who facilitate that work within the Twin Cities here. I've had conversations with housing partners. Like, people are ready, but they're also looking for a stable political environment for us in order to start building and reimagining a new downtown. And we do that by facilitating better conversations with each other, between City Hall and our council members, and also working with our state and county partners so that we can bring the resources in to start addressing and building this new St. Paul that I have a vision for.
I wanted to ask you, it's coming up in six minutes right now, so 4 left. Cyber attack shut down the city services, threatened to do even more damage if a ransom wasn't paid, which the city says it wasn't. Where does something like cybersecurity, more of an invisible but dangerous threat, fall on your priority list, and how much are you willing to spend to bolster it?
I mean, I think it is absolutely critical, since more and more of all of our work is done requiring online or digital or technology around it. I do think that this is something that our state legislature has to help cities on. So state legislature provides local government aid. There has to be a will for us to look at what it means to increase all of our city infrastructure around technology for all of our cities and municipalities. This is not just a St. Paul issue. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so we have to look at it as a statewide approach, and how do we help fortify our cities so that they're safe from attacks.
Okay, and so in the community, talking about St. Paul Public Schools, St. Paul is, heavily diverse district in so many different ways. How do you plan to specifically bridge some of the widest, maybe most damaging disparities?
I don't know if maybe the disparities you're referring to is like the academic outcome or the learning gap. I do say that the diversity is our strength, and I truly believe, and really because it is our immigrant populations that have been able to keep enrollment in our school district up, and so we have a unique opportunity right now. All of the family unification has been stopped for our Southeast Asian community, specifically our newest one, our Karen community. They have tens of thousands of family members waiting to be reunified, and paperwork had been filled out, and they were waiting to come together. We have to build our school district to be ready to take in the new immigrants that will be coming, because that will happen after these next 3 years, and we have a new presidency. We will be reopening borders and allowing families to come together, and so we have a great opportunity at the school district to be ready to welcome them and to have new students into our school district.
Okay, with the 2 minutes that you have left, the floor is yours to just talk about yourself, what you want people to know about you as a person, and maybe some of your experiences in the legislature as well.
So, I mean, I'm somebody who has had experience at multiple levels of government. I've been a policy director at the city level, a state representative for the last, 7 years. I've worked in the private sector in investments and finance. I think that that is the uniqueness I bring to this job, is that I'm somebody who is not going to be solving problems in silos, but taking all of that professional experience with me into this. I mean, I also worked at the school district as their first board administrator, so I have education background in addition to my business, in addition to the public sector and private sector work. And so I think that makes me a unique problem solver when it comes to this work. I will also say that lived experience matters, right? And I'm not a career politician. I think people see me as a state legislator and they say, oh, she's a career politician. But, I didn't start my career in politics until I was 45. I've literally only been in politics for 8 years. But I think that that's what makes me a rich and a good candidate, that I came to this country as a refugee. I came here when I was 3, and my family had times where we struggled, and it was difficult to have food on the table. And I had to be a first generation to get myself through college and be able to figure out how to pay for that. And so I know what it's like to be a family that is trying to build wealth, that is trying to live on incomes that sometimes are just not enough, who are trying to get themselves the best leg in order to make it up. And so I bring all of that lived experience with me. I want everyone who lives in our city to have the same opportunities I did. And so I'm bringing that all with me to do this work. So I hope people choose me as their first pick for mayor in St. Paul on November 4th.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Representative Kaohly Her. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Take care. All right. Right up into the 10-minute mark. Ryan, all the candidates have done really, really well with that. Been helpful. We haven't had to cut people off or, hasn't had to get awkward at all, which is great. We were hoping that it could just kind of be smooth sailing like that. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. Why don't we take a break, and then when we come back, a couple more things here that we want to run through. We still have a half hour and so much good stuff to get through, including this Minnesota company that I'm really intrigued about, kind of off the heels of the Louvre heist, and then of course about a year ago at Southdale we had the gold heist there, and I get an email from a local company that's basically like, hey, we do something that could help catch the bad guys, the bad people who are doing this. It's kind of interesting. So wanted to share that with you too. That's coming up here in about 15 minutes. And then did we connect with Ahmad, Ryan? Oh, sweet. Okay, Ahmad is in LA, and he is out there ahead of the Vikings game, so we're going to check in with him and see what the vibe is. I know he was up doing early morning stuff too, so we'll check in with him. Much more to come. The investigation into some of the NBA player and a head coach, including the head coach of the team that the Minnesota Timberwolves beat last night, Chauncey Billups, former Timberwolves player himself, arrested after that game. So at some point overnight, early this morning, he was arrested. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that as well when All Day Live continues. Stay with Okay, who's ready for some Thursday night football? 7:15. That's way better than the Timberwolves 9 p.m. start last night and tomorrow night. Whew, that's too late. That's too late for a lot of us. But this one we can handle, and it's right here on your home for the Minnesota Vikings, Fox 9. Our Ahmad Hicks is in LA right now. Did you get a nap in at least? Because I know you were up early.
Yeah, it was. I was up early today. The airplanes. We were right next to the airport, so I heard a lot of planes taking off this morning, starting at like 6 a.m. So, but I did get some sleep for the most part. I tried to get as much as possible.
Okay, well, good, because it's going to be a late night for you. Size this up for us. What are we looking at here? We got our 3-3 Vikings, of course. Chargers 4-3, but didn't they start out strong and then they've kind of been struggling?
Yeah, they won their first 3 games, and then they slipped and lost 3 out of their last 4. So I think you kind of have this team right where you want them if the Vikings show up. It just kind of depends on what Vikings team shows up for us tonight here on Thursday Night Football. But I think it's early to say a must-win game, but I think this is a must-win game for the Vikings because you're talking about having to go to Detroit the following week and then welcoming the Baltimore Ravens with the healthy Lamar Jackson back. Like, this is a game that they have to win, like, especially if they want to be a playoff team. And speaking to the guys last week before the Eagles game, they believe they needed 3 out of these next 4 games in order to prove to themselves that they are playoff worthy, and they obviously dropped the one last week. So I think this is a must-win game, primetime game. Carson Wentz has to show up. Aaron Jones should be active. We'll find out an hour before the game, but it's just one of those games where it's an early season test and you got to see what you have.
Okay. Yeah, we heard from Coach was it Wednesday? He announced that Wentz would get the start, which I don't think really surprised too many people. What do we know about Carson's? How's he feeling and doing? Because he's taken a bit of a beat down the last couple of weeks, especially.
Look, coaches will tell you and players will tell you, once the NFL season starts, no one is ever 100% until the season ends, and then you have a couple of months to heal up. Like, so he made it be known he doesn't like Thursday night games. Not a lot of people do. Coaches don't, players don't. It's a very quick turnaround. I mean, you barely get a chance to practice. Your body doesn't get a chance to heal because most guys will tell you, you don't start feeling good for the next game until Thursday or Friday. So the fact that you're having 2 games 4 days apart, I mean, this is a lot. I mean, you're just talking about NFL players like in the brutal game that they play. So I think he's banged up, but he's going to have to play through it, just like a lot of his other teammates, just like guys on the Los Angeles Chargers team. I mean, everyone's going to be banged up, but, you know, I think as long as they can keep him healthy, keep him upright in the pocket, he should be okay. But there's some question marks with no questionable tags next to Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. So that's something you don't want to hear if you're Carson Wentz. But if those 2 guys play and can keep him upright in the pocket, he should be okay.
Okay. Let's see. What else I was going to ask you about? So with Carson Wentz, I just kind of looking at his, and I don't know nothing about nothing. Trust me, I never played the game. I just kind of watched. Very casual fan. But you would hope and think that a trajectory would start to kind of move in a certain direction the more you played with the team. We actually interviewed his coach from NDSU, who actually I think was a coach of yours at one point too, who said this was after the first game, I believe, at home, and he said we expect big things from him. I think he's just going to get better. What's been going on with Carson Wentz as far as you can tell? Is it just being hurt? What is it? Is it the people around him? Just, he doesn't have the support staff that he needs? What is it, Ahmad?
I think it's the familiarity in the offense. Like, you're talking about a guy who didn't have a training camp here. He didn't have an off season. So you're literally learning on the fly. And that's something he tells us each and every week, that he's trying to, still master this Kevin O'Connell offense, and it's very complex. And I think for Carson, there's the easy reads that we see him miss when we go back and watch the film, but it's not that easy when you haven't really had a chance to dissect this playbook and then know, I know when he calls this guy's going to be open in the flat, or this is my safety check down and things like that. So I think it's just a lot to process for him, and I think you're also seeing kind of some of his cons that he's been, tagged with the last couple of years. Like, is his patience good in the pocket? Is his vision good in the pocket? And I just think it's a lot to process. Like, quarterback is the hardest position in the National Football League. And so for Carson in this offense with no offseason, no training camp, I think it's being highlighted each and every week. And I know it's easy to say, hey, just get Justin Jefferson the ball. But sometimes when you got a Jalen Carter barreling down at you, or, a Joey Bosa or something like that, it's a little bit harder, to get the ball out on time or keep your eyes to where they're supposed to be. And I think that was some of the same struggles we saw with J.J. McCarthy just not having played the first couple of weeks of the season. So it's a hard job. It's a very, very hard job. But it's easier when we're sitting at home and watching the film. But, I think you're just seeing him kind of just be a little sped up because, the line, hasn't kept him protected all the way as they should have, in his 5 starts.
Okay. Really quickly, do you have an update, or what do we know about Andrew Van Ginkel? Yeah, so in your house, he's a favorite in your house. I know that for a fact.
Yes, Simone's a big fan of Andrew Van Ginkel, and this defense is missing him tremendously right now. She has a Van Ginkel jersey. She told me she wanted one. I said, Van Ginkel of all players? I was like, I understand he's good. I was like, but that kind of threw me off. But yes, they are missing his presence. Dallas Turner has been tasked with a lot, and I think right now we're seeing that Dallas Turner needs to up his game. He needs to up his level of play. He needs to stop trying to bull rush 6'6", 330-pound offensive tackles and find the counter move. And I think he's going through some growing pains right now. So they are missing Andrew Van Ginkel, but Dallas Turner was a first-round draft pick. He needs to step up his game for sure.
Okay. Before we let you go, did you happen to see the Wolves game last night?
I did see the Wolves game. I did.
Okay, and you're out on the West Coast, so it wasn't as late for you. But I'm curious, kind of what your thoughts are coming out of what was just ended up being a wild game.
We're going to need to find out their identity, but that's going to take some time. They're going to have to figure out that point guard position. Love Dante DiVincenzo, but I think he's more of a 2 or a 3, a slasher, catch and shoot guy. I don't think he should be handling the ball a lot, and that's one thing they said they wanted to get the ball out of Ant's hands and let him run, and that'll help out with his easy transition buckets. But shout out to Ant. He told us when you play these lesser teams, like, he wanted to go for career highs. He wanted to post MVP-type numbers, and he did exactly that last night. He showed off exactly what he's been working on this offseason in the mid-range game. He was phenomenal there. I think he's going to take his game to another level. I think Jalen Clark needs to play a little bit more. He's tremendous on the defensive end. But it's going to be a wild ride for this team. I think they're going to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference, but there's going to be some growing pains as well as they try and figure out this identity because, Rob Dillingham didn't even play. He's going to need to play and see if he can be the point guard for this team. But an exciting start for them. Can't wait to see them back at Target Center soon.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And we saw Bones Highland, and I didn't think we'd maybe see Bones. I mean, we saw Jalen Clark. I mean, it's just really it was interesting, and to see it all kind of gel together right at the very end was pretty phenomenal. All right. Oh, just really quickly, I want to get your reaction, just surface level reaction to the stuff that's happening. I mean, right after this game, at some point overnight into the morning, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, is arrested and is now being looked at by the FBI. But big picture, as you're kind of seeing these things play out, what's going through your mind?
I think this is a problem. Honestly, the leagues have brought upon themselves. I haven't read all the details. I was woken up by the ESPN alerts this morning at like 6 a.m. here, with all this stuff. I was like, my goodness, I didn't expect to see that this morning. But I also think that with the way that the NBA, the NFL, all these professional sports promote gambling, it's in each and every commercial. It's Prize Picks, it's FanDuel, it's everything. It's like you're putting these people in a negative spotlight, and these things kind of happen, I don't know all the details, so I don't want to speak on it, too much yet, but I just think that the professional leagues are putting these teams, these players, these coaches in negative spotlights. And I think, they're telling them, oh, you can't gamble, you can't do this, but yet everything around the game is promoted by gambling. Like, every single thing is tied to gambling when you talk about professional sports. So if they did do it, if they are, accused of alleged running with the mafia and doing things, I mean, shame on them. You have to have some respect and integrity for the game, especially Chauncey Billups as a head coach. But I also think the league needs to take some blame on this and understand, like, you guys want to promote gambling, like, these are some of the side effects of it. And so you have to ask yourself, what's important? Do you want to promote gambling, or do you want to just promote the integrity of the game?
Yeah, it's definitely bombshell this morning for a lot of folks. So, all right, appreciate it. We got this primetime matchup tonight. It's, I believe, 7:15 our time, right? I think 5:15 your time. So, all right. Well, we'll look forward to your coverage there, and thanks for making some time for us today. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Okay,
see you guys later.
You too. All right, bye, Ahmad. All right. Let's see here. Do you want to take the, oh yeah, do you want to do this? Oh, hey, thank you, Ryan. So here it is for tonight. We got you covered front to back here. So 6 p.m. is when our coverage starts. That's Vikings Game Day Live on Fox 9, and you can stream that on Fox Local as well. And then 7 o'clock is when the game is going to start, and again, that's out in LA. And then right afterwards, we're not going to miss a beat. Right afterwards, we're going to go right to Vikings post-game show with our Jim Rich, who told me that a few days ago that Chad Greenway was probably going to be here as well. So you can watch that Fox 9 and Fox Local streaming if you want. Okay. All right, Ryan, sounds great. Let's do one more thing before we go to a break. So we were just talking about this with Ahmad a little bit, and again, we don't know a lot of the details, but we're just trying to figure out what in the world is going on, because a lot of folks woke up to this news. So Trailblazers head coach and former Minnesota Timberwolf Chauncey Billups, which is what we were just talking about, was arrested sometime last night after last night's loss to the Timberwolves. The coach and then also Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier are among dozens of people who are now charged in connection to one of a couple of alleged crimes here: illegal sports betting, and then also there's rigged poker games backed by the mafia are the two that we're looking at here. FBI Director Kash Patel had a press conference several hours ago, about 3 hours ago or so, and laid some things out for us, and I believe we have a clip of that we wanted to show you. So let's share that for a second.
But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
To be clear, we're announcing today indictments in two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves 6 defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this: your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that.
It's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, calling it Operation Nothing But Bet. Is it Nothing But Net? And Operation Royal Flush. So we'll be seeing a lot of that in your social media feeds today. TMZ just posted a story here within the last hour talking about some of the Chauncey Billups allegations as well. So if you wanted to read that, that's where you can find that. We'll be following it. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Should we, let's see, 1:46. Let's take a break and come back. And when we come back, we are going to talk with, again, a Minnesota company with this really interesting invention that we wanted to learn more about today. They say they can help law enforcement catch suspects by minimizing damage to people who are just standing by, passers-by or innocent bystanders. We were interested, so we wanted to learn more, and we will when we come right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to All Day Live. 1:49 is your time on this Thursday. We're glad that you're with us here. And, I don't know if you watch a lot of those specials on Netflix or HBO Max, the heist stories. A lot of people follow them. They love those sort of true crime stories. Of course, when the incident happened at the Louvre a few days ago, the world's attention was on that. And then if you remember about a year ago, in Edina, there was that, I think it was like $700,000 gold heist at Southdale Center. So we heard from a Minnesota company who said, well, you know what, we actually have been working on solutions for years for law enforcement to catch these kinds of suspects, and also they say minimize harm or eliminate harm to any innocent bystanders. So joining me now is Jodi Huisentruit. Hopefully I am pronouncing everything right there. The creator of Repulse.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, good. Okay, I got everything right. And you call this a next generation defense spray. Thank you for being with us. I am intrigued. So tell us a little bit about what this is, first of all.
Well, we are we're an alternative to pepper spray. Pepper spray has been in the market for 35, 40 years. Actually, it's been in the market in law enforcement and in the public so long that people are starting to hate it. They hate it because if they spray it, they might, be overcome with it. If law enforcement, if they spray it, they have to then, put somebody in handcuffs, and then they get contaminated with it. It gets into their patrol car, it gets on their uniforms. So they basically have, they put it on their belt, and then they, very seldom use it. We've had multiple law enforcement officers tell us, we've been doing this for 30 years, and we used it once, and when I did use it that night, it was a gift that kept on giving, and when I stepped into the shower, it reactivated. So all those negative things about pepper spray have caused it to not be used. But we have went into the market with ours, and all those negative things don't come along with our product.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about, or show us, or describe what it does that's different, and you say better.
Well, I can do a demonstration right here.
Okay.
Tony, could you give me that towel?
Do you want to take me off? There we go. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so yeah, describe what you're doing, Jodi.
Okay, I've got a can that's very similar to, this is what law enforcement carry. And if I were to spray this in front of my face with pepper spray, I would get overcome with the aerosol effects of pepper spray. It would get into my lungs, it would get into my nose, it would get into my eyes, it would cling to my clothes, and I'd have to leave this area. But with our spray, it's a direct contact spray. I can spray it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Right in front of my face. I can put it right up to my face, and I'm not overcome with the aerosol effects of it because it's a water-based irritant. And it has the chemical in it is called propionic acid and ammonium propionate and a surfactant, and there's 5 different chemicals, but they're all agricultural-based chemicals, food-based chemicals. And what it causes is an involuntary immediate eye closure. So we call it an ocular irritant. But as you can tell, it doesn't impact my breathing. Our law enforcement folks in Minnesota do not want to, during a cuffing an individual, they don't want to have that individual saying, I can't breathe.
Yeah,
We've had serious issue with that.
Yeah.
So this is it's a new product that's out. We've been out for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And it's being rapidly accepted across the nation. We're in 38 different states. Our largest customer is the Phoenix Police Department. They're the 5th largest in the nation.
I was going to ask you, sorry to interrupt, I was going to ask you who's using this? Police departments, anybody locally? Are there other uses other than law enforcement?
Oh, absolutely. Most of our major hospital systems in the Minneapolis area carry it. It can be used inside of the emergency rooms, inside of any of the hallways in the hospitals. The HCMC, the security manager of HCMC has reported that they've been using it for a couple of years, and they have reported a 40% decrease in the injuries to their security personnel because they can have an attitude adjustment with the Repulse and be able to safely, securely work with somebody who's been has that ocular irritant that incapacitates them from doing anything violent.
And it's legal, for personal use too?
Oh, absolutely. Great question. So we're just in the last 2 weeks, we have went to the commercial market with our small handheld models. So we have multiple different models that you can purchase on our website. And these are obviously they don't have the same amount of product as this one, but you can actually purchase this one as well. And you can also purchase one for your home. If you wanted to have some sort of a home protection, you could purchase that as well.
Okay. Well, Jodi, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Like normally, I was telling you folks, like normally we don't have products on or promote any kind of businesses or products. This one was interesting to me to kind of learn about the safety aspect of this, especially for law enforcement, but also personally. So again, the product is Repulse, R-U-P-U-L-S. Thank you. Thank you for sharing some time with us today and demonstrating that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Amy.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay, take care. All right, let's see. Ryan's going to help me round things out here as we come up on the end of our 2 hours together. It's been a good 2 hours, Ryan. It's been a good 2 hours. Solid.
I'm going to go one further and go. It's been a great 2 hours.
You think? Great?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're ramping up to a really exciting night tonight with the Vikings game, so we hope that you'll stay tuned. Just put on Fox 9 and then just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
It's going to be your best bet.
That's a good rule of thumb any day of the week, really.
It really is.
Especially tonight.
Especially.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. Armand Hicks is out there, and of course our team back here will be all over your local coverage before and after the game as well, with local insight. Don't listen to those national guys and gals. They don't know as much.
No.
Our local folks are the way to go.
Yeah.
So
it's the best of both worlds. You still get the national broadcast.
Yes.
Unless it'd be great if Amy and I were doing play-by-play in color tonight, but it's not. You still get the national broadcast, but then you get the local pre and post game.
Yeah.
Which, well, that's exactly what you'd want, right?
Exactly. Well, let's go Vikings, Skol, and bring us home a win here. We need it. Yeah, we need it. We got to get over that 500 hump. Got to do it. Got to do it, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it, and we will see you back here tomorrow's Friday already. Yay! Friday. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Ryan. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's go Vikings. Skol!
Off of the game at 7 o'clock. Then we'll wrap things up after the news with a post-game show that's tonight on Fox 9, your home of Vikings football. That'll do it for us on this Thursday. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining us. Skol, and up next, it is All Day, which starts now.
Well, welcome to All Day Live. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday. It's Thursday, and it is the 23rd of October already. My goodness, Halloween next week. This month is flying by. I'm Amy Hockert, and we'll spend the next couple of hours with you checking on some live events and developing news that's happening in and around your world and the world we share. We're in this together, right? We have quite a bit coming up here in the next couple of hours. We know the Timberwolves beat the Portland Trailblazers last night. Barn burner of a game. That's actually not what a lot of people are talking about, though, especially Portland fans. So Portland's head coach, former Timberwolf Chauncey Billups, was arrested sometime after the game. The FBI is investigating him, so we'll talk about that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Lauren Drago is in St. Paul for us this afternoon. She's going to show us what the downtown street team is doing. They're on the ground. Their goal is to keep neighborhoods safe. And then next hour, staying in St. Paul mayoral candidate Kaohly Her joins us live. This is one of several 10-minute live profiles we've been doing with mayoral candidates from Minneapolis last week, and now this week, St. Paul. And then after that, toward the end of the show, about 1:45, there's a Minnesota company that has a product that it says helps catch suspects right after a crime and minimizes any sort of danger to people standing nearby, innocent bystanders. It's been called Pepper Spray 2.0, so we're going to show you how that works. Really interesting stuff. But we want to start this afternoon with some just really incredible news that we just learned. So remember Sophia Fortis, a victim of the Annunciation Church shooting. She has been at HCMC ever since that shooting happened. Well, she was released from the hospital just within the past hour, and so we just wanted to show you an incredible moment here as the video is just kind of getting ready to load here. But if you remember, we've been taking some live press conferences with the lead surgeon, who was one of the first people to receive her when she came into the ER at HCMC that morning, and he had talked about how he said, I just want to be real with everybody, that this may not turn out well. This may not, and here she is. So she was 12 years old when everything happened. Today is her 13th birthday. And so, Brian, if you just want to let me know when we get that video, I can hold off for a second. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to bring that to you as soon as we can, and I have not seen it yet. Ryan has seen it, and it's just really incredible. But what a day! What an amazing day for her family, and no doubt a long road ahead. But really good to hear that news. So we're going to bring that to you here just as soon as we can. Let's kind of move on with our next story here, and then we'll come back when that video is ready. But really, this is something that broke this morning and had a lot of people waking up to some really shocking news, especially NBA fans. So we talked about Trailblazers head coach, former Minnesota Timberwolf Chauncey Billups, who was on the sideline last night as your Minnesota Timberwolves came from behind in spectacular fashion and beat the Trailblazers. But sometime after that, overnight into early morning hours, Billups was arrested, and that story broke this morning. So it looks like Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier are among dozens of people now who are charged in connection to illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. So different charges there. There might be one person that overlaps, but different people charged with different things. So there was a press conference by FBI Director Kash Patel who laid it all out. Why don't we listen? Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Should we, why don't I do this? So I'll just kind of read through this. So just to set it up for Pierre, we're going to join him he's going to join us rather in a second. So Chauncey is being tied to the poker games, not to the sports betting. And it looks like he's going to appear in federal court in Portland later today. Not clear what sort of charges he's going to face. Rozier's alleged role appears to be tied to the sports betting side of this investigation. And according to his lawyer, he met with NBA and FBI officials back in 2023, and they say that an investigation at that point found that he did nothing wrong. Okay, let's bring in Pierre Nugent here to help us kind of sort through. Not a lot we don't know here, obviously, but interesting to note, Pierre. So Chauncey Billups is a name that sports fans around here will know and recognize. There he is. Hey, and so we wanted to just dig in just a little bit. So tell us first of all the connection with Minnesota and Billups.
Well, Chauncey played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. What is it? I would say about 25 years ago, if memory serves me right. It was in between the years of 2000 and 2002, or it might have been 99, 2001. I don't remember the exact years, but he spent a couple of seasons here in Minnesota. That is certainly the connection, the Minnesota connection between Billups and what is going on right now. But Chauncey Billups is a household name really over the past quarter century of the NBA with what he was able to do, not just with the Timberwolves, but with the Pistons and by extent the Denver Nuggets as well. He was one heck of a point guard in his day, but this is certainly troubling news concerning him. And like you said, Amy, we just saw him on the sideline last night coaching the Trailblazers as they were taking on the Timberwolves. So it's a very, very shocking story, to say the least, waking up to today.
Yeah, and for those who don't maybe follow, and again, innocent till proven guilty, right, where there's a lot involved here, but generally speaking, some of this is sports betting. Obviously, there's some poker mafia stuff that may be going on over here, but overall, we've been hearing about, was it Malik? Was it Malik Beasley?
Malik Beasley.
Yes.
Malik.
Yep. I mean, Shohei Ohtani's, interpreter. We hear about these things. What's kind of the general consensus on, is this stuff going on more and more, do you think, or are they just getting better at finding the people who might be doing this?
I think it might be a combination of both, and I have to say that Malik Beasley was under investigation. Nothing has come up yet for Malik Beasley. He is he remains right now a free agent, but in terms of the investigation under him, he has not been charged or with any wrongdoing as of today, as of this moment right now. But also Amy, I kind of shake my head a little bit because I remember working in Sacramento about 8 years ago, and I spoke with a member of the NBA who worked in the NBA, and when my conversation with this individual surrounded sports gambling was just starting to become legal. It was about to become legal in certain states across the country, and I asked this individual if this is inviting the wolf into the hen house when it comes to potentially having players on the take, having coaches on the take, and this individual told me they believe the answer to that was no, because back in the day when you saw some of these stories back in the 70s and 80s, these players and coaches weren't making the type of money that they're making right now. And I thought to myself, that's an interesting thing to say, because in my experience, the more money you make, the more money you want. If you're making $100 million and somebody comes up to you and gives you an opportunity to make a quick $100,000 in a seemingly get-rich-quick type scheme, a lot of people might take that if they feel like the risk is worth it, or if they feel it's minimal risk of not getting caught. You probably take that. Now, in terms of, are they getting better in terms of catching some of these people? Possibly, but the NBA has a real problem on its hands right now, because we saw what happened with Jontay Porter, the former forward who played for the Raptors, who has been banned for life from the league for his involvement in player prop betting. He's still waiting his sentencing in that case. And let's not forget Gilbert Arenas, who was also arrested and indicted for his alleged involvement in a high-stakes poker games taking place in LA. Now, that doesn't involve the league directly, but these stories are coming out of the woodwork left and right, and it's very, very concerning for the league, because where there's big money, there seems to be corruption, and if you lose the integrity of the game, you have nothing, in my opinion. You have absolutely nothing. If you lose the integrity of the game with your audience, you are in a world of hurt because people are going to start wondering whether or not some of these games are legit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's a slew of Netflix and 30 for 30s documentaries out there where you can see, over the years, these types of investigations pop up and the things that happen. But very, very interesting. Really quickly as we wrap. By the way, the Timberwolves won big last night. Your kind of thoughts on what transpired, especially in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty incredible to watch Anthony Edwards go to work in those last few minutes. It was an uphill battle all night long, though. At times, Minnesota looked a little discombobulated on defense, especially in that first half. But I thought Julius Randle looked fantastic last night. Both playing, he looks fresh, he looks strong. Anthony Edwards, meanwhile, making NBA history, becoming the first player in NBA history, scoring 40 or more points, shooting 50% or better from the field, 100% from the free throw line. That's simply amazing. And if this is just the start for Anthony Edwards, who knows what type of season this might turn into for him and the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Point guard position, still a bunch of question marks, or how are you feeling after last night? I know it's just one sample, but...
Yeah, and that's really that's one of the things that caught my eye too, especially in the fourth quarter. Chris Finch going with a point guard less rotation, and TJ Shannon getting the trust from the coaching staff to close out that game. At times, it looked okay, and I know Chris Finch has talked over the years about he believes in having multiple ball handlers. You don't have to necessarily have the point guard designation to be able to handle the ball and get up the floor. But there were times where the ball was turned over at midcourt by Dante DiVincenzo. We saw some turnovers happening where you thought to yourself, boy, if a point guard was in the game, maybe we can get up the floor a little easier. But it didn't look great at times, but he finished with a big lineup. It worked out.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to continue to experiment as the matchups allow him to. Portland played a little bit of a bigger lineup last night as well. So it's a bumpy start in terms of that area in particular. But we've got 81 more games to go here, Amy. There's no reason to press the panic button just yet on any of these.
I hear you. Thanks for popping in here on your day off, no less. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll preview the Wolves game out in LA tomorrow, and then they're home Sunday for their home opener, and then also MLS. We'll talk MLS with you too. So enjoy.
Which we will be at, by the way. We will be at the Timberwolves home opener on Sunday.
Awesome.
So.
Okay. Well, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Pierre. All right, let's bring this to you here. We started off this hour with this really incredible update that we wanted to show you. So Sophia Fortis, as we know, was one of the victims who was shot, and so here's this moment. Incredible. You hear the doctors and the nurses and others cheering for her and sending her off as she left HCMC. And again, in case you missed it, today is Sophia's 13th birthday. Her medical team there, some of the team members who we've heard from throughout. I'm just going to kind of listen in for just a second here.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, happy birthday. I'm so glad you're going. I'm so proud of you. Keep shining, okay? Keep praying for you. We sing you? We sing happy birthday? Right there. What's his hair?
Lots of hugs, lots of reaction there as Sophia leaves HCMC after months now, and incredible to see, to look at her and to hear her after the press conferences. I think the last one was probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, when the lead surgeon kind of came out and said, we just need to set expectations here that this...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sophia.
So again, she was 12 when it happened. Oh, goodness. When it happened. 13th birthday today, but Sophia was, just to remind you, she was shot in the head. She remained in critical condition for weeks and weeks at HCMC, placed in a medically induced coma. Her eyes dilated, meaning the pressure in her head was just very, very high. We learned at that time from the lead surgeon that the bullet's path injured some really critical vessels in her brain. As doctors had to repair that, stop the bleeding, and they really feared the worst. And they said, if something like this, what we just saw happen, it would be a miracle. They remained hopeful. Her family, we heard from her father several times, who remained steadfast that she was going to come through this and that she was going to be okay. Obviously, a long road ahead for her, for that young woman, but just an incredible day for Sophia Forchess and her family and that community. And we wish her the very best, and we're so glad that we could bring you that today. That was just really incredible to be able to share that update. Let's talk a little bit about our weather, which has been the topic of conversation, this week, as we've hit some kind of whoop and then bloop, back again, and now you look outside and it's just glorious sunshine.
So nice outside.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful blue sky, great little fluff ball, cotton ball clouds floating on by. It's nice.
Love it.
This morning was chilly. We got down to 34 point something this morning, 34.5 plus, so 35 is our morning low.
That's a dumb question. Have we hit the freeze mark yet?
Everywhere but the downtowns and the airport, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
So yeah, our first freeze officially, probably occurring tonight. Ring of Burbs got frozen this morning. A lot of them did. Maple Grove, Rogers, Cottage Grove, Edina, Prior Lake, Stillwater. Most folks got down to 32. 33, 32, 31, 29. Rogers got down to 29 this morning, or they've done it in previous days over the past couple of weeks. But this morning, a lot of folks got down because those temperatures were at face height. So as we go into tonight, this is your statewide map, by the way. We'll circulate through a handful of these. But you can see most everyone's getting down to the 20s again. We'll go for 31 overnight tonight in the Twin Cities. Today, though, sunshine. Beautiful day today. 51 degrees is below average. Average high for this time of year is 54, but nice and bright. 20 is tonight for most everyone in the greater Minnesota, 31 in the metro, and then a nice rebound. Southern flow pumps us back up, but 58 degrees is what we're aiming for Friday. And the weekend, we got a little impulse that could bring a little spritz or a sprinkle Saturday morning, but then we'll say some veiled cloud cover, and we'll keep it in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the weekend ahead. But yeah, today, that peaceful sunshine feels good. The blue sky, the quiet conditions, so much calmer today. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Stay nice and light. The gusts to 40 or 45 on Tuesday, or the 20-plusers yesterday are just non-existent. And there's that official metro forecast. Our first freeze looms. An average first freeze, by the way, Amy, is August. No. Is October 13th.
Okay.
Last year, we waited until November 1st. To get there. November 1st was our first freeze.
I vaguely remember
our first
that,
freeze.
Yeah.
Last year, so it was very late, one of our latest. Year before that was October 27th. And then going back to 2020, whatever years that was, 2022, we did it, though, perfectly average. It was October 14th. And back on 2020, pandemic year, which kind of got lost for a lot of people, that fall, we did it on October 4th. We had our first freeze on October 4th, but that was in October, too, when a lot of people were working from home. We also had a lot of snow in October that year. We had a lot of weird snow going on that year. In general, so yeah, as we rotate through, it's not uncommon. It's a little late, but we rebound. We got a nice couple of days ahead, but not a bad little go of weather for us. Hey, and if we were to have an extended forecast, if we were to have that, I mentioned this in the 11 o'clock show just a while ago. Looking ahead into Halloween, average high by next week is the middle of the week is 51 on Wednesday. Average high on Halloween is 49 to 50. I like to say 50 because it wraps up the month of October nicely.
Okay.
And we look to be just a tick above average. We look to be staying in the low 50s into Halloween. Nothing big's pinging at the moment, which is great news. Okay. So at the moment, if I had to give you a ballpark Halloween forecast, I'd say it would be a lot like either yesterday or today. This rough low 50s zone, relatively peaceful.
You can see the costumes.
It's way out there, 10 days away, so there's a lot of wiggle room on rain chances. But at the moment, it just looks okay. You know, temperature-wise.
We'll take it.
Looks okay temperature-wise. Yeah.
We will take that and run with it, but we'll keep checking back. So thanks, Keith.
Yeah,
all right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to head to, I think we're going to Mille Lacs County, actually, where they're doing some testing of well water. We want to let folks know in that community where you can go, how you can do it. So stay with us. All Day Live continues right after this.